You've seen it, the business owner who looks like they are running on pure chaos. A dozen tabs open, sticky notes all over the place, 10,000 unread emails. These people, they look like a mess, but somehow they're building something incredible. So here's the twist. Those same traits that make a 9 to 5 miserable for them are often the same ones that allow someone to build the business of their dreams. And this isn't just a hunch. Research shows that entrepreneurs are significantly more likely to have ADHD than the general population. Some studies actually show as high as 29% compared to 5% of the general public. So that's a massive gap, and it's no coincidence, it's how they're wired. But here's the catch. ADHD is a double-edged sword. The superpowers are real, but the kryptonite is too. If you don't know how to manage it, the same brain that fuels your breakthroughs is also likely to burn down your business. And before we dive in, if you've ever felt like your brain doesn't fit the mold, subscribe now. You have found your tribe of people. Let's start with the good news, because when ADHD is pointed in the right direction, it's unstoppable. You see, ADHD brains are like popcorn machines. These ideas just keep exploding, whether you want them to or not. And while most people are staring at this brick wall, you're already sketching 10 ways to get around that wall. And that's awesome, because that's where the innovation lives. And in fact, Harvard researchers have found that ADHD brains are more likely to generate divergent ideas. And that's the kind of thinking that disrupts industries and creates a meaningful change. Then comes impulsivity. Now, that gets a really bad rap. Teachers call it reckless, managers call it undisciplined, but in business, that's where you really have an edge. You see, business owners, they can't wait for the perfect information to arise. They have to make decisions oftentimes with only 70% certainty, and they just have to go. So that bias towards action is what really helps small businesses move fast, while big corporations, they're going to stall out. So think of Richard Branson. He launched Virgin Atlantic with one leased airplane in just a gut decision. That leap was pure ADHD energy. And let's not forget hyper-focus. So if creativity is the spark, hyper-focus is the blowtorch. When something captures your attention, you disappear into it. Hours feel like minutes. You write business plans overnight. You code an entire app in a weekend. You map out years of content in one sitting. So it's not just discipline, it's an obsession. And that obsession, that's what solves problems that most people are going to quit on. Finally, energy. What looked like disruption in a classroom turns into drive in the real world. The late nights, the multiple projects, juggling 15 priorities. ADHD business owners often describe it like having a Ferrari engine. It's fast, it's loud, it's relentless. And when you pair that with resilience that was earned through a lifetime of being underestimated, you've got a force that is hard to compete with. But let's be honest, every superpower also casts a shadow. That same impulsivity that lets you leap can also sink you. And that's why some business owners, they end up hiring the wrong people. They pivot too fast. They burn through cash like it's monopoly money. Without some guardrails, impulsivity turns bold moves into very expensive mistakes. So let's look at the hyperfocus. It's like gold at times, but on the flip side, it can be brutal. Complete inability to focus on the boring but essential tasks can tank a business. So think about your taxes, your payroll, your bookkeeping. If you ignore these things long enough, your business doesn't just slow down, it's going to rot from the inside. Then there's the idea overload. ADHD brains, they've got all this stuff going on, but they don't have an off switch. That can feel exciting, but it also creates this hamster wheel effect where you're constantly chasing shiny objects, staying busy, but never moving the needle. So that's the illusion of progress without the results. And one of the hardest, least discussed challenges is rejection sensitivity. It's not an official diagnosis, but it is definitely real. A single no feels like a punch in the gut to somebody with ADHD. A bad comment online, it feels like the end of the world. And if you're a business owner, rejection isn't rare, it's daily. It happens all the time. So clients, customers, lenders, if you can't manage the sting, it's going to end up paralyzing you. So how do you make sure the chaos builds your business instead of tearing it down? Let's talk strategies. So strategy number one is you've got to build your external brain. You see, your brain is brilliant at ideas, but terrible at storing them. That's fine. Don't rely on it. Offload everything you can. Use a calendar to block every hour, even your breaks. Chop those mountainous tasks down into these little tiny molehills. So the trick is to keep breaking down tasks until it feels too easy, almost silly not to do it. So if you need to write a book, that becomes open Google Docs. So that's how you will hack your momentum and really start making some forward progress. So on the personal side, I'm just like you. I often find that I have a million things swirling around in my head that I need to try to manage. Don't forget to call Joe, email the team the reminder about our next meeting, schedule the dentist appointment, on and on and on. It's constantly something going on up here for me. So what has really helped me immensely is this practice of planning out my week. See, every Sunday, I dump the contents of my brain into my calendar. And by assigning everything a time that is really, really important to me, it greatly reduces my anxiety and it allows me to be more present in whatever is in front of me throughout my week at any given moment. So give that a shot. That may really help you as well. So strategy number two is outsource your kryptonite. You know, every superpower's got that kryptonite, and we need to get that away from us. So be brutally honest about what drains you. If accounting makes your skin crawl, stop pretending. You're not going to magically get better at it tomorrow. So automate it, hire it out. Same thing with scheduling, follow-ups, admin. If any of that stuff is draining to you, get it off your plate. So the goal isn't to master everything, it's to spend your energy where you create the most value. If you're saying, hey, this is all going to cost money though, I get it. Yes, it does cost money, but it's going to be far more expensive not to do it. All right, strategy number three is control your environment. You see, your brain is a distraction magnet. That means you have to design your workspace like it's a fortress. That may mean noise-canceling headphones, website blockers, a clutter-free desk. Turn off 90% of those notifications. Every ping is a thief stealing your focus away. So treat your attention like it is your most valuable resource. So many of my coaching clients have gone as far as to delete all social media from their phones and turn off all of the notifications because they find them so distracting. And they've reported over and over again being far happier and far more productive. All right, final strategy, number four, is you've got to fuel that Ferrari. So you remember that Ferrari engine analogy? You can't run it on junk fuel. ADHD brains need real maintenance. That means sleep, exercise, nutrition. Skip them and your engine is going to start to misfire. So you add mindfulness and meditation instead. That's like upgrading your brakes so you can actually steer at higher speeds. So here's the bottom line. ADHD is not a flaw. It's a different operating system. It gives you the creativity, the courage, the tenacity that others will never be able to match. But unmanaged, it leads straight to burnout, bad decisions, and a very broken business. So the business owners who win don't try to fix themselves. They build systems that play to their strength and shield their weaknesses. They stop fighting the chaos and they start conducting it instead. So let me ask you, what's your ADHD superpower? And what's the number one system you've built to manage that chaos? Drop it in the comments down below. We've got an awesome community that would love to hear from you. And if this resonated, subscribe, because this channel is where business owners wired just like you learn to turn their chaos into their greatest advantages.